Hello, my name is Anton. I'm a Principal Product Manager on Power BI team. Joining me today, Gaurav, Principal Group Product Manager from Azure Purview. And today we will talk about how you can drive data culture for your business on the secure foundation of Azure Cloud and Power BI. In the session, we'll focus on how you can govern Power BI with Azure Purview. We will share with you upcoming data loss prevention capabilities, which enable you to automatically detect upload of sensitive information to Power BI and take automatic risk remediation actions, and share with you recent enhancements for Microsoft Information Protection sensitivity labels in Power BI. Before we start, I would like to share with you some of the trends we observed around digital transformation and security. So, online collaboration growing really fast. We see Teams as a great example of 4x growth in usage versus before pandemic. In the survey Microsoft did with business leaders across the world, 82% of them indicated that they are going to hire additional security staff to help them meet security and governance requirements. In the same survey, 81% of the business leaders stated that they are expected to reduce cost and be more effective with how they spend money on security. Another positive trend for Microsoft is we see Microsoft emerging to be leading security vendor with over 10 billion revenues from security in the last year. So Power BI Foundation starts from Azure. Power BI is an Azure service. Power BI is deployed on Azure commercial clouds and on government clouds. Power BI service provides you with some mission critical security features like private links, double encryption at rest, VNet, network isolation, bring your own key when you're using capacities to encrypt data in Power BI, and much more. Also, Power BI provides you a wide range of compliance capabilities with 44 data centers across the world and over 100 compliances Power BI supports, making it possible for every business to meet their local and industry compliances when using Power BI. Now, to tell you about how you can govern Power BI with Azure Purview, I will turn to Gaurav.
Thank you, Anton. So what we're going to be doing today is talking about how Power BI and Azure Purview are better together. But before we do that, we're going to talk about what is Azure Purview. Now, with Azure Purview, we have released a unified data governance service that allows you to maximize the business value of data. But it all starts with understanding what data you have in your organization. So the first thing we are enabling with Azure Purview is allowing customers to create a unified map of their hybrid data estate so that you can understand whether data exists in on-prem sources, your SaaS sources, multi-cloud sources, operational sources. Once you know what that data is, then you can discover, your data scientists, data engineers, information workers can discover that data in your hybrid data estate to power the business insights. So essentially, they can build these intelligent applications on top or do root cause analysis or impact analysis. And finally, you'll be able to gain insights into sensitive data that exists in your organization, because with Azure Purview, we are also doing semantic analysis where as our scanners are running, we are automatically classifying the data to say, oh, this column is a social security number, or this column is an Australia tax file number. So if you think about three pillars around operational databases where you have data coming from your SQL, whether it is Azure SQL managed instance or from your IoT devices, and so think about that operational databases layer. Then there is your analytics layer, which is your intelligent platform where you're essentially building that whole analytics and business intelligence. And across both of these, you have your unified data governance happening with Azure Purview. So your data estate is governed from get-go. So how is Power BI and Purview better together? As I mentioned, it starts with understanding what data you have. So the first step is to discover that information. So we are able to scan your Power BI tenant to catalog your reports, dashboards, your Power BI data sets. Now, once we have done that, then the information workers or data analysts can browse and search information from the map, and that includes Power BI assets as well. Again, your reports, dashboards, and all. And finally, to be able to see that enhanced metadata, lineage, sensitivity labels, and also the endorsement labels that you apply in your Power BI dashboards. So you can essentially think about a scenario where you have raw data coming from, let's say, on-prem SQL. Your transformation is happening inside a Synapse pipeline. It's loading the data into your warehouse and then into the presentation layer with Power BI. To be able to see that end-to-end lineage view is one of the primary use cases that we are enabling with Azure Purview. So if you are an information worker who is using your Power BI dashboard and let's say a particular report failed, you'll be able to do impact analysis or root cause analysis to understand why did a report fail, or how is the report getting generated corresponding to a particular data set, from where that data is coming. So this is a great use case that we are enabling for our customers. So what does it mean to discover information? So here I'm showcasing the Azure Purview data map view where you're able to register sources. So here, as I mentioned, you can scan your entire Power BI tenant. Once you scan that, you are able to browse and search information in the map. So let's say I'm a business user and I've run a marketing campaign. My company has run a marketing campaign and I want to see the impact of that marketing campaign on sales. And I'm trying to understand what revenue it generated. So if I search a term revenue, then I'm able to get all the results back. I can further filter them down by business terms. So let's say we do it by worldwide sales. So you can see there's a Power BI dashboard coming in here. So I can look at enhanced metadata for it to look at all my measures, columns that we are getting from your Power BI reports. And then this end-to-end lineage view, as I mentioned. So if you have your raw data coming in from on-prem SQL, your sales invoices coming from Cosmos DB, then there's a prep and transform happening in your pipelines in Synapse, then to your data warehouse, all the way to your presentation layer in Power BI. So you're able to see this end-to-end lineage view. And also you can see there is sensitivity labels on top for this particular dashboard. So we are able to capture that as well as the endorsement labels. So what is available with respect to Purview and Power BI today? So we have the capability to discover, browse and search, look at your enhanced metadata, lineage, to be able to do your impact analysis, root cause analysis is generally available. And then we are also public previewing the sensitivity labeling portion. So if you have your sensitivity label applied to a Word document in M365 and let's say it lands into a lake and then it moves to a warehouse and then or to an Azure SQL instance and then to Power BI. So you're able to track this entire journey of that label and it flows from your raw data to your Power BI dashboard through Azure Purview. So we are public previewing that. We are working to make that end-to-end scenario better in upcoming iterations. All right, so this was a short information about how Purview and Power BI are better together. Back to you, Anton.
Now, I would like to tell you about very exciting new capabilities coming for security and governance in Power BI. Data loss prevention policies, coming soon, right after Ignite. Microsoft 365 data loss prevention policies enable you today already to apply data loss prevention policies on Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, third-party application, and on devices. In one single place in Microsoft 365 compliance, security and compliance admins can define data loss prevention policies for various applications. And also it serves as a unified hub for all auditing and security alerts triggered by data loss prevention policies. When we will introduce Power BI data loss prevention policies, we will enable security admins automatically detect upload of sensitive data to Power BI according to the following condition. First one, MIP sensitivity label applied on the content. So if your content has, for example, highly confidential sensitivity label, you will be able to use it as a condition to trigger an alert or a policy tip for end user. The other one is content scan. So Power BI will be able automatically to scan data as it's being uploaded and detect sensitive info types like social security number, credit cards, etc. Microsoft has over 100 sensitive info types that are available. All of them can be applied on Power BI. And the last condition that will come early next year is ability to detect sensitive data upload according to the data source from which the data is coming from. So if you're using a sensitive database for Power BI and you want to be notified when data is uploaded to Power BI from this sensitive database, you will be able to leverage data loss prevention policies for this purpose. The actions that can be triggered by data loss prevention policies for Power BI are going to be the following. First one is audit of every evaluation of data loss prevention policy. And second one is security alert that will be triggered in the Microsoft 365 compliance alerts hub. And the last one is policy tip for end user. So one of the best way to mitigate potential risk for data leak is actually notify your user about how you would like them to treat sensitive data. And this will be available out of the box with data loss prevention policies. Data loss prevention policies are going to be available for Power BI import models on premium workspaces. Let's check out this quick demo showcasing what's coming next. So we start from Microsoft 365 Compliance, the portal where security admins and compliance admins can define data loss prevention policies. And here we will create a new policy to detect upload of PII data to Power BI. In supported location, you will be able to find Power BI as a location for the data loss prevention policy. And you will be able to create the following rule. So in this case, let's create a rule that detects upload of social security numbers. The condition is sensitive info type. And here I can choose from Microsoft catalog of sensitive info types that I want to use for this rule. We have social security numbers for various countries. The next step is to configure the action. The action that I would like to configure here is user notification. And I can paste here custom policy tip that will be shown to end user when this policy is triggered. Also, I want my data loss prevention teams tracking DLP alerts to be notified when such data is being uploaded to Power BI. I'm saving the rule, all the settings. And now I'm in Power BI desktop. I see I created a new report based on data that has social security number. Upon upload, Power BI detects the social security number data and provides the user the policy tips that I previously defined. And back in Microsoft 365 Compliance, in alerts section, I can find the alert triggered by this data loss prevention policy. And not only that, this alert can be also forwarded to any SIEM system or to the email box of your security admins, so they can be notified about this activity. So the data loss prevention policies, as I mentioned, the first release is coming soon after Ignite, and additional capabilities will come later. Stay tuned. Now, I would like to share with you our recent enhancement to MIP sensitivity labels in Power BI. So MIP sensitivity labels is a unified solution used across SharePoint, Exchange, Teams, Office applications, Power BI, third-party applications, endpoint protection, and Azure Purview to enable you classify, label, and protect your sensitive data wherever it is. When you combine Microsoft Information Protection with Power BI, what you get is a native solution to label your sensitive data in Power BI using the same technology and similar UX to what you find in Office applications and in Azure. It's easy to enable, easy to deploy, and has built-in monitoring. So just need to enable these capabilities, follow up on our documentation. It's really easy to enable and test. And you get all end-to-end lighting up without any custom development, custom pipelines, or custom solutions. Given that this solution is provided within licenses that most Microsoft customers have, it's reduced the cost of ownership, so you don't need to buy additional security product to enjoy this functionality. And also because it's built into the product and all the monitoring already implemented, you don't need to invest in additional stuff to onboard to this solution. And it leverages the power of Microsoft. Given that this solution implemented in Azure Office in Power BI, we can implement and provide you end-to-end protection value. So the data is classified, labeled, and protected as it travels across Azure, Power BI, and Office. MIP labels in Power BI are GA. We recently announced MIP labels GA in Power BI Desktop. The functionalities that we provide customers is ability to label and classify data flows, data sets, reports, paging reports, dashboards in Power BI service, and also use MIP sensitivity labels in Power BI Desktop to label and protect sensitive data that is saved in PBX files. Another great value, the end-to-end value that I mentioned before, is when you export data from Power BI, the sensitivity label applied on the report is applied on the file when you export the data. For example, Excel, PowerPoint, or PDF files. One of the top requirements that we heard from customers is to provide them with the ability to ensure that all new data that is uploaded to Power BI is applied with sensitivity label. So we recently introduced 2 new policies to enable organization ensure all data is classified. First one is mandatory label policy. Basically, security admin can require a user to apply sensitivity label if they create new report or new PBX file. The second one is default label policy in Power BI Desktop, meaning that security admin can define the default label that will be applied on new content that user creates automatically without interfering in the user experience. Now, this is the value that I'm actually personally very excited to talk about. This is the true power of Microsoft, the end-to-end protection. About 6 months ago, we announced first release of end-to-end protection. When Power BI gets sensitive data from Synapse, we can read the sensitivity label applied via Azure Purview on Synapse columns and applied downstream on Power BI content. Recently, we released a very important enhancement to this capability, supporting inherit sensitivity label from Excel file, which is one of the most popular data sources for BI reports. And also we extended our ability to read data from protected Excel files. So if the Excel file you're using is encrypted, now you can use it as source for Power BI reports. Now, let me show you a couple of demos of how this works. In this demo, I will show you how Power BI inherits MIP sensitivity label applied by Azure Purview on Synapse column, on Power BI datasets, reports, and dashboards, and also persists the protection when the end user exports data to file. So I can see now that I have an IP address column classified with highly confidential internal only label. When in Power BI, I refresh data from this column, the Power BI knows how to inherit the sensitivity label and apply it on the data set. So you can see that the data set applied with highly confidential internal only label And not only that, the downstream reports and dashboard also applied with this label automatically. And when end user consumes the report, they can see that the data in this report is highly confidential, internal only, and treat it carefully. And when the users continue using Power BI data outside of Power BI, for example, when they export the data to Excel file, the sensitivity label applied on Power BI report automatically applied on the Excel file with the protection policy defined for this label. And so any user that will consume this data in Excel will also know that the data is highly confidential, internal only, and unauthorized users won't be able to access this data. Now, I would like to show you our recent enhancement enabling Power BI to get data from protected Excel file and inherit Excel's sensitivity label and apply it on Power BI file. So the demo starts from Excel file. In Excel file, we can see that this file applied with highly confidential sensitivity label and also has protection settings, so only authorized users can access data in this file. Now, when I move to Power BI, in Power BI Desktop, I want to get data from this Excel file to build my Power BI report. So I'm going to this file. I can open it. So up until recently, this wasn't supported. Now I can decrypt the file using Power BI Desktop because I have the permission to access this data and pull the data from this file into Power BI file. So I see this sheet, the data that I want to load, fantastic. I load the data. And what happens behind the scenes, Power BI, together with the data, fetching the sensitivity label and the protection settings that was applied on Excel file and applies both the sensitivity label and the protection settings on the Power BI file, providing you end-to-end protection. And once I complete creating my Power BI report and upload to the service, the sensitivity label is going to be persisted in Power BI service and hence the end-to-end protection. Another new enhancement is the ability to view Power BI sensitivity label activities in Microsoft 365 Activity Explorer, providing security admins with a single place where they can track and monitor sensitivity label activities for Office and Power BI in one place, and complements and extends the monitoring capabilities in addition to the audit logs that are audited every time that somebody applies a sensitivity label or views a Power BI report with sensitivity label. Now we also have these extensions of Activity Explorer to make it more easy and comfortable for security admins to analyze Power BI sensitive activities. From a licenses perspective, to view and apply sensitivity labels in Power BI, you need Power BI license and also the basic governance license. These licenses available as part of Microsoft 365 E5 suites, so check it out. It's there. You can reduce cost if you already have these licenses. To summarize the MIP plus Power BI capabilities. So first of all, we have general availability of sensitivity labels in Power BI service. We can protect data that is exported outside of Power BI. All of the activities are audited in Microsoft 365, previously called Office 365. So this is the same audit logs you're already using. Sensitivity labels for Power BI reports in Teams are available. So you can leverage all of these capabilities when you consume Power BI reports in Teams. And we also have admin APIs to set and remove MIP labels programmatically. In public preview, we have various label inheritance features, the data source inheritance features that I demoed in this session, and also downstream inheritance capabilities. We mandatory and default label policies that were just released. They're in public preview, very important for the strategy of making everything labeled in Power BI. And the upcoming data loss prevention policies that are coming soon as public preview. So to summarize, with data protection capabilities in Power BI showed in this session, whether it's via Azure Purview, the platform, or MIP, or data loss prevention policy, you can first meet compliance requirements for your organization. You can leverage centralized security and compliance solution to monitor access to sensitive data. You can enable and enforce end-to-end protection as data travels between systems. It's easy to deploy, straightforward, built into the product, and you no longer need to compromise on productivity to be secure and compliant. Thank you very much. Hope you found this session valuable. Reach out to us if you have any question. Thank you.